What do you think's going on in Cleveland? We had Jeff Schwartz on last week, and I really enjoy his burgeoning voice in our business.
Right.
8 years in the league, playing offensive line. He says he doesn't understand why Mayfield doesn't get time with the ones. I mean, how
I don't
how
either.
is that?
I don't either. They're 1-31 over the last 2 years. Look, if they get 6 wins, it's going to be a lot of Bud Light, and it's going to be historic, right? So,
dilly.
And so I think that, to me, the quicker they get on with it. Now, I think that the dilemma here is John Dorsey didn't hire Hugh. So Hugh's an inherited head coach there. So there's a little bit of like, if I play this guy, if I play Baker and I lose, is this guy going to fire me? Or if I don't? So there's some of that. I think it comes back to the plan. I think there's a scene in Hard Knocks that you have to have a plan for every player. And when Hugh goes up to Baker in a kind of a passive-aggressive way and says, well, what time do you get in the morning? Like, that tells you as a fan and as an executive that the kid hasn't been told what he needs to do. There's no plan for him. So I think there has to be a plan. Like, here's Baker, you're the starter. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to run this offense because 3 years from now, we're going to be really good and you're going to be the starting quarterback. Look, Tom Landry did this with the Dallas Cowboys. He wanted to play the flex. And at that point in the NFL, nobody was playing the flex defense. And so his team was running the flex. And everybody was saying, we can't run the flex. We're not any good. And Landry would always say to people, when we get good, the flex will be good. We need to learn how to run it right now. And I think that's the perfect example for young quarterbacks, especially Baker Mayfield. Let's play him. Look, I love Tyrod Taylor. There's no coach that has coached Tyrod Taylor that hasn't loved him in terms of his person and his demeanor and his work ethics. Those are all good things and all good role models for Baker Mayfield. However, that being said, the future of the Browns really lies with Baker Mayfield.
Well, I mean, they drafted him first overall. And by the way, it's apparently Tyrod. He's never referred to himself around you as Tyrod?
No,
look,
I am
that's
the
apparently
worst.
what it is right now.
One of the things in the books, I'm so bad at names. We nicknamed everybody because I was so bad at pronouncing names. So I just nicknamed everybody. The heck with it.
I want to dive a little deeper. So you see on Hard Knocks that Hugh Jackson goes up to Baker and asks him what time that he's in a passive-aggressive way, meaning that I'm telling you right now, you're not in early enough. Like, I'm not seeing first in, last out of you, Baker Mayfield.
Right.
It means that Hugh Jackson and the Browns have not told Baker. Like, isn't that an issue that if you have to tell somebody you need to be first in, last out? I mean,
I think these kids need to learn how to be pros, right? Somebody's got to teach them.
So why isn't Tyrod or Drew
that's
Stanton doing it? I mean,
that's not his job. I think. Look. I think the job comes from the leader of the organization. The leader sets the culture. They all talk about we're got to change the culture here in Cleveland. I think the leadership of the team, the head coach, is responsible for the culture. I mean, every day Belichick walks into the office, he's about maintaining that culture. We all talk about the Patriot culture. Well, that just isn't in the building. It just isn't in the walls. It's developed and maintained every single day. And when it's not, things start to slip, and it comes back to it. So I think you need to be direct with players. You need to know exactly what you expect from them. They want truth and honesty. Look, every time I ever had to release a player, I wasn't going to sit there and say, well, I thought you were a good player, but the coaches didn't like you. The players respect honesty. Just be a man. Be honest. Look, you get in here 6 o'clock every morning. I mean, that conversation, had that been in New England, it would have been a little different. It would have been, Baker, you're probably going to run 13 today until you start getting in, like, your job is accountable for your actions. That's how I see it.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.